Hi, this is Kevin Eastman, co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you're listening to me on another Geek Fried podcast. Why? Yeah!
Thank you very much.
Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, denizens of the internet. I am the legendary beard, Mr. Mike Orvis. I'm recording this way after the fact that this was recorded. I'm on my own, in my basement, all alone. Yeah, I just wanted to caveat this. It's a super short episode, if you're used to the kind of, hour jobbies. It's not going to be one of those, unfortunately. This week this was actually a couple of weeks ago, like I said. I was getting particularly annoyed by the meh crowd. And so I recorded something in my phone. So the audio is not incredible, but I think it covered a lot of what I wanted to say. I go off on a bit of a tangent, but fuck you, ADHD. That's what happens. So yeah, this is super short an episode. I hope you can forgive me. Next week, I'm gonna hopefully, if she doesn't throw me out the house, I'm gonna be podcasting with my mum, which is gonna make for an interesting episode. I hope I'm gonna interview her. And with my mum, you roll a fucking dice. I have no idea what she's going to come out with. Or if she wants to play ball. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, if you've got any questions, as always, write them in the comments below. What else have I got to tell you? I'm moving house soon. That's very exciting. And we're going to be moving very soon as a podcast. As I'm moving house, the podcast is moving probably onto Audio Boom. I've begun talks with them today to try and make Geek Pride a channel. So that's going to be pretty cool. That means that you'll be able to listen to it on iTunes. It's all legitimate and proper. So yeah, if you've got any thoughts or feelings or feedback on this episode, then feel free to give me a yell. You can find me on Twitter at @the_dark_Mike. You can find Geek Pride at GeekPride1. And there's no guests, so I won't talk to them about this. That's the caveat. Cheers for listening, and I'll see you... past Mike is now going to talk angrily about stuff and things. Hello and welcome to Gentlemanly Chats, a lonely drive home edition. I am the legendary beard, Mr. Mike Orvis. This is a weekly podcast about geekery and nonsense. This might not be a particularly long episode. I might even release 2 episodes at once, because this may be super short, or it could be long. I have absolutely no idea. I've got to get something off my chest. So that's what I'm doing. My like for this week is Chris Hardwick as a person, because he's the person that's inspired this outpouring in me. I'm just driving back from Richie's, and was just caught a very snippet of the Nerdist podcast, talking to the creator of Reddit. And there's something I've seen a fucking awful lot of recently is the meh contingent, the people that are just responding with apathy to anything. 2 very recent examples. VR was responded to with, it's a fad, meh, I hope it dies, or start the fact that Geek Pride missed Star Wars Celebration. Someone was supposed to do it and they didn't, and I posted up a thing on our group that we use for writers, and I said what was going on, and someone commented with a I didn't know it was happening, so therefore it's not important, it can't be that much of a big deal. And it's it's not really what I was saying, but it's that kind of apathy, that kind of so what, who cares, or going the other way, the dissatisfaction, this is shit. When you're like that, when you're being just completely and utterly negative all the time, all you're doing is stirring the shit pot. You're not bringing anything to the table. I could tell you right now, the situation in Turkey, for example, is fucking awful. And I don't normally get political on the podcast, and I'm not going to. for much longer. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's a terrible situation. Me going, it's a terrible situation, commenting on videos or writing statuses about it isn't going to make it any less of a terrible situation. Now, bringing it back to something a little bit more lighthearted and geekery, you know, if you're dissatisfied with something, and this is what Chris Hardwick was saying, and it's again why he's in my pantheon of gods along with Kevin Smith and Dan Harmon. If you're dissatisfied with something, if you're angry about something, then you are in an excellent position to change that thing. Now, I'm not necessarily saying, like, you know, if you're upset with Batman, you know, the chances are you might not get a shot at writing Batman, and that's, but, you know, chase your fucking dreams. If that's what you really want to do, make it your fucking obsession, and you know, maybe one day you'll get to do that. What I'm talking about is, if you're dissatisfied with something, if you don't like a thing, then create. The answer always, fucking always, to your dissatisfaction is to create. Now, if this is coming across as aggressive, be it passive or otherwise, I don't care, because that's not the intent behind it. What I am telling you to do, dear listeners, is that if you're not happy with something, if you are dissatisfied, then do something to change it. You either need to change your own perspective, or you need to create. And in my opinion, always fucking create. If you think kids shows are dumb, write a fucking treatment for your own kids show and send it somewhere and see where it goes. If you're dissatisfied with the state of Marvel and DC comicdom, although how anyone could be upset with DC at the minute, because they are, quite frankly, pulling it out of the bag, and if you don't agree, read Rebirth and realise that you're fucking wrong. Anyway, if you're dissatisfied with the old Tights and Capes game, write a fucking superhero comic. Write the superhero comic that you want to read, with characters that you want to read about. Write or make a video, or just create, because doing that is so much more powerful, is so much more positive, is so much more enlightened and better than sitting around and fucking moaning about it. Like, what is the fucking point? What is the point of going, this is shit, this is shit? There's music I don't like. There's a whole heap of music that I don't like, dear listeners. I've spoken about it quite a lot and at length. Crunkcore makes me want to punch people in the teeth, for example. You play me 303, I want to knee my own balls back into my body until they come out of my eyes. And I have balls for eyes. The point I'm trying to make is, I make music that I want to listen to, that makes me happy. The reason I do that is because A, it's cathartic, and B, it allows me to be the positive change that, you know, the change that I want to see. I can't remember who said that, and maybe that's a discredit to myself because I'm unlearned and stupid, but you know, it might have been Martin Luther King Jr., but I could be completely wrong. Be the change you want to see in the world, and that's absolutely right. It's all well and good being a little dark pit of fucking despair and like anger, making your comments, but like, what does that do? It doesn't help anyone. It's the same as when you're offended. You know, Stephen Hughes is an Australian comedian. If you don't know who he is, he's a metalhead. He's been on like Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow or something. But like his stuff outside of that, where he can like really, you know, get to grips with being a sweary bastard, you should definitely check it out. He's a very funny man, massively into metal as well. But he says, you know, what happens if you're offended? Fuck all happens if you're offended. But if you are offended, if something has upset you, again, make something that doesn't. For example, if you're seeing, I don't know, if you read a story and it's quite misogynistic, then write your own story that's not misogynistic. If you hear a piece of music that is written badly, then write a piece of music. Find something that you can do to create and fucking do it. I hear so many people complaining, like, oh, you know, I dabble in writing and I do this and you know, if you get up and do that thing, you are that thing. It's as simple as that. You might not be a professional, but that doesn't mean you don't do it. So, like, I'm rambling now, and we're at like 7 minutes, and I don't really think there's a lot more to say, apart from the fact that, you know, labouring the point as I might be, you really just fucking go out and create, because that's so much cooler. You know, I've deleted so many people from my social media who just complain all the time, and now I've got a news feed full of fucking cool shit. You know, to name but a few: Brett Uren, Cy Deton, Nick Wilkinson, fucking John Scrivens, Grant Perkinson. Like, all these guys who are like indie comics dudes. Steve Shepherd, who's an incredible artist. Who I just wish he believed in himself more. Like, there's so many people out there. Alex of ABXY, like, he's fucking brilliant as well. Benji Pugh, he's amazing. Like, I could go on for fucking ages. But the people that are on my Mandy Harkett. I'm sorry, I'm not going to name anyone else because I've mentioned fucking a million people. Well, no, sorry, I've got to mention Cassie Gregory, who's the artist for a comic that I'm writing. 2 comics that I'm writing, actually, and she's fucking incredible. Go check out her work. Supermarket Freaks, you can find it on Facebook and stuff. But anyway, the point is, there are so many, like, creative people on my newsfeed now. That's fucking inspiring as shit. That makes me want to write. I see that, like, Richie, whose house I've just come from, I've just like, in a very, very small way, helped him out in making a comic. You know, that's fucking awesome. I am now inspired by that. I want to go home and write stuff. So please, like, it's all well and good going, oh, well, I don't like this thing, so fucking like, cool. If you feel the need to comment, then fucking comment. I sure as shit do. If I think something's terrible, I'm going to comment that it's terrible. But what I will do is, A, have an opinion to back that up. Have facts. Have an opinion that's based in fact. Or have an opinion that is formed, like the Alanis Morissette song of 21 Things I Want in a Lover. You know, has formed opinions. Have formed opinions. Don't just fucking go, don't like it, and then what? Like, what? What's your fucking reason? If you can't back that up, then it's not an opinion. It's just something you heard and you're just repeating it. And secondly, if you're gonna fucking complain, then go and do something about it. We all love a bitch fest. We all love going, this is shit. Then go and do something about it. Please go and do something about it. I fucking beg of you. Right. This has been a super short episode of Gentlemanly Chats. Big shout out to Mr. Chris Hardwick, who will never listen to this. But I just felt like we needed a fucking pick-me-up. And it needed to be said. So I hope this isn't gibberish. And I love you all. Keep it geek and see you next week. Now I'm gonna turn off the fucking recording, but I've locked my phone cause I'm driving. Do-do-do-do-boo, do-do-do. Don't know how to turn off the recording. People have already turned off cause they don't like my musical stylings. Having a fumble with my phone, can't find the way home all alone. Do-do-do-do-do-boo-boo. Anyway, found it. Bye. So yeah, that was that. That was my mini rant, and I just want to caveat this in case anyone thinks that I'm coming from a place of like, oh, he's so preachy and oh, he doesn't do anything. Well, like this podcast came from a place of like, I want to talk about geeky shit. There are loads of podcasts talking about geeky shit, but like there was like a little niche of like, I want a slice of life podcast that talks about geeky shit, but also about like personal lives, about people who aren't famous, you know, just about average fucking dudes. And I'm as pretty average as they fucking come. Look, like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm not a good person. I'm a douchebag at the best of times. But I live by this. I try to go out and be the change I want to see. So really, if you're taking anything other than go out and create from what you've just heard, then you've completely missed the message. So for real, go out and create. I just wanted to caveat that at the end. Anyway, next week, my mum. It's going to be interesting. I'll see you next week. You are a cheap comparison to Jack Black. Bye.